Hey, I'm Anne of Anne Again Creates, and today I've got a U for you. Shooby dooby doo. Ah, a blank slate. I'm going to make a flower using a comb, and I have a legit quilling comb, but it's a bit too gigantic for the size quilling I usually do. So, I pulled out this hair comb instead, which I use when I cut my husband's hair. See how the comb teeth are a lot closer together? That's what I want. I'm prepping a light pink strip by gently curling it with my quilling needle. And the first step is to fold the end of the strip around 2 comb teeth. Put on a dab of glue and slide that strip in just after the next comb tooth up, and then press together the glued part. And that will be the center loop. Now, this is like the only time I glue except to close it at the end. You might see other quillers glue every time it goes around, but for what we're doing today, it just isn't necessary. Woo woo! Aren't you glad? We get to be lazy. So we're just going to keep wrapping in the same direction, grabbing the next comb tooth on top and on bottom, holding it in place with my fingers. Okay, we're going to pause right there. Okay, there's our center circle. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, up, and 1, 2, 3. Sorry, that's hard to see. Let's fix that. And 1, 2, 3, 4 below that center loop. Take it off carefully so it doesn't unravel. And then you trim and glue shut. There are basically 5 pieces to each petal, and this will be the longest piece. Now the next 2 that we make will follow the same procedure, except that they're, slightly shorter. So we'll wrap around 1, 2, 3, 4 above, and 1, 2, 3 below. So 1 tooth less than before. Alright, we're going to make 2 of those, and once we've got those 2 made, we can glue them to either side of the longer piece. And we're just going to place them slightly lower so the longer one is sticking up a little bit right in between. Yep, like that. Okay, for the last 2 pieces, we'll use an off-white color. Still the same procedure, except wrapping 3 teeth above and 3 teeth below that center loop. So these are the shortest. And we'll glue 1 of these on each side of our petal. Place so they just touch at the bottom when we squeeze it together. Okay, there's our finished petal. Yes, sir, there's our 8 petals. And we're just going to do a little test arrangement here. Very nice. Like it? I just want to scooch it down a little bit. Alright, gluing. Get some glue on the back side of the petal and then dab, dab, dab to get off the extra, so it's just a thin layer all over the back. Do that with all of your petals. And make sure they're all nicely pressed down. Alright, we're going to move on to the center of the flower. We've got a burgundy, a taupe, and an off-white. We're going to start off with that taupe color, and we're just going to roll up the entire strip into a tight coil. Okay, now hold on a second. So see how I'm not starting at the very edge of the strip? Sometimes I do that to make really sure that the slotted tool will not slip off that strip, because I'm going to make a kind of a bigger coil with like multiple colors. So if it slips off midway through, by golly, that's not good. Got that rolled up into a nice tight coil. Put on some glue. Just kidding. 5-second fix. And we're back. But we are going to learn from our mistake. We're going to hold that down until the glue sticks. Yeah. Right next to that edge, we're going to glue down our burgundy strip. And continue our tight coil. The thing about this is, I know I don't want to use the entire strip, but I don't really know exactly how much I want to use, so this is just kind of all visual. I'm just gonna keep going till I like it. And do I like it? Yeah. No. Yes. Okay, yes. Yes, I like it. Trim. And glue. And hold. Alright, so this next strip is the off-white, and it's going to be a little different because I'm going to cut these little tiny slits all the way down the length of it. Or until I get tired of it. And yeah, I'm tired of it. Trim. If I turn it over to the other side, you can kind of see the cuts a little bit better. Little cuts, just a little fringe. I'm only putting glue on the bottom because I don't want that glue to be gluing down the fringed cuts. I just want it to be holding the solid part of the strip. Alright, same thing. This is going to be kind of an eyeball judgment on when to stop. Again, glue just on the unfringed part. Take it off carefully. Yeah, and just use your thumb to fluff out that fringe. Just go around and pull those cuts outward. That looks good. Putting a smear of glue all over the bottom. You know, it's not like a super wow factor, that fringe, but it's just one of those little extra touches that make it so nice. The focus flower is done, so it's time to move on to swirls. For our first swirl, I've got 4 strips. 3 of this fabulous gray blue and 1 of a light blue. There is just something about having multiple colors or multiple shades that gives it extra prettiness. So line up the ends and glue them together. And I prep it really good with my quilling needle. And then I wrap the end around the quilling needle just to get the curl started. If I could keep rolling, I totally would, but it gets tricky with multiple strands. So instead I continue by hand, holding the tails together with one hand and rolling with the other. Now you can shape and adjust the curl. And to make the awesome concentric lines, very simple. You hold the bundle on the side and then you pull the tails one by one so the strips are spaced the way you want them. Alright, let's get that U back here and see how we like the swirl. How does it fit in? We can figure out how long we want it, make any adjustments if needed. To finish it out, I'm going to chop off the ends and glue the strips together. And it is kind of a more complicated shape for gluing down, so I like to make a thin layer of glue on my tray and place the swirl right on top of that. It's an easy, clean way of getting glue all over the backside. I also want to put glue along the side where it'll be touching the letter outline. Swirl number 2. I've got 5 strips. 3 of the blue and 2 light green for the middle. Same procedure of gluing the tips and curling the stack. And you can curl it by hand like before, but I also wanted to show you how you can use your tweezers to grip the end and roll it up. That's a good one, huh? I've decided not to spread out the strips much on this one. I'm going to keep them close together. I'm also going to keep the ends uneven to give it a tapered effect. So no blunt cut this time. Swirl 3 has the gray blue on the outside with off-white and light blue on the inside. And spreading that. Swirl 4 has gray blue, and then green, and then green, and then gray blue. And we're definitely spreading that out. In Swirl 5, our last swirl, we've got gray blues on the outside as usual, with off-white and light green, light blue in the middle. So a little bit of everything. Same steps, but the difference with this one is it's got an extra long tapered tail that we'll glue against the wall of the U. So the next step to learn is the scroll, and this is basically like a single strand swirl. And here I'm just prepping the strip to help it curl. That's some pretty heavy prepping actually, but it's all good. Alright, and then I am just going to roll it around my quilling needle for method number 1. Or a super simple method is just to roll it around your slotted tool. You basically have a loose coil there that you can play with and adjust it. Cut it to the length that you want and glue it in. There's another scroll, and now you see why I kept that long tail on the swirl. And this next thing, I am counting this as a variation of the scroll. The strips aren't glued together or anything. I just take the two and roll them up. And hallelujah, it's thin enough to fit in my slotted tool. Yeah, how you like that? White on one side, blue on the other. That's cool. And glue it down. Gluing more scrolls. Alright, cute little loop flower. I wanted to tie in the colors of our focus flower. So we've got the burgundy color, a light pink, and more of a peachy pink. I'm just going to snip off a little piece of the burgundy, fold that in half, and then I'm going to use my quilling needle to prep the strip. And really, I probably should have done this first. C'est la vie, it's fine, it's fine. Get that crease back, and then we're going to not fold, but like bend those two ends into the center. Put some glue down in there in the center and hold down both ends so you have kind of a double loop. And then do the same thing with the peachy pink and another one with the light pink. And to glue, we're just going to stack them on top of each other. Okay, time to glue those in. Alright, we're gonna make the base of a different type of flower. Again, just kind of a short strip. Oh, see that? I did not start at the end, and this was for a different reason. This is obviously a very short strip. It's not going to be like the end of the world if it slips out, but it kind of does fill in that center hole a little bit when you don't start right at the tip. Okay, and then do your best to form it into a half circle. And I'm gluing it right in the crook of those two swirls. Cutting 8 short strips of this darker blue. And I'm just going to roll them into very small, tight coils. Okay, and glue them above the base. 2 on the bottom layer, 3 on the next layer up, another 2, and then 1 at the very top. Looking at it, I'm actually not happy with the bright green base. It pops, and it's not the part that I want to pop. Oh, okay, it's sad. So I'm gonna redo that base in a darker green. So it looks really nice. and it's not like grabbing your eye. I don't want that part to be like, whoa, look at me. Alright, and then this flower has a little more space on it, so I'm going to add these little tendril things. And basically the way that you make it is you just chop off a short strip of the blue and cut diagonally to make a triangle. And curl it a little bit, and then you can glue it into place. Short little strips help them connect in so they're not just floating. Tie in back to the flower again. This is an off-white and a taupe color. And what we're going to make now are these feathery looking things, pretty much like miniature pampas grass. So I start off with a folded piece of the taupe strip that I'm going to glue together so that it is 2 strips thick. To make all the feathery parts, we're going to just fold a short piece of the off-white and then use that to fold a slightly longer piece and cut that, and use that one to make a slightly longer piece and cut that, and so on until you have 6 of those of the off-white and 1 of the taupe. And then for each of those, you want to hold the fold, okay, hold the folded end, and then make like 4 or 5 longish cuts at the other end. And then starting with the shortest piece, cut off that folded end so that now you have 2 pieces, and then glue the uncut end near the tip of your taupe piece. So the cut fringy part is up. Okay, next size up, cut off the end so you have 2 pieces, glue one a little below the first one on one side, and glue the other one on the other side. Alright, so now you have 2 pieces on each side so far. And then you just want to keep doing that until you got them all glued on there. And then you want to fluff out all those cut ends. And I decided these were just too long, so trim. Getting it to the right length. Getting it curved. You know, it's really just that center spine that you're gluing down. All the fringy, feathery part is still loose, so you can go ahead and glue it down and then refluff. Okay, this is just a super simple little leaf. Put glue right at the end of a strip and fold that over and hold that down. And really, you can just smash it. It can be flat. And then hold that glued end and push on the top until it pops open. And then I'm just gonna reshape it just a little bit. Bump, bump. That's it. We're gonna glue some of these leaves down. Okay, this is the last thing, I promise. This is just a little tiny pink flower, kind of like this one where it's kind of an outline. I'm just gonna put it here. I debated and went back and forth. I was like, no, I don't need it. Yes, I do. No, I don't need it. In the end, I wanted a little bit of pink there. Okay, yeah, I'll show you how to do it because it's not hard. And it's not quite the same as the other flowers. So you make one bump, a slightly bigger bump in the middle, and another smaller bump. So that you have these 3 little skinny bumps. And you glue everything together at the bottom, but it's still really loose in between the petals. So you put a little bit of glue in the creases there, and squeeze it again. And then to make that center one a little bit fat, just like the leaf, you just push on it until it gets a little bit wider. And that's it. And we're done. Hey, hey! Nice job, everybody. Hey, thank you guys so much for watching. Oh, well, let's do a close-up. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you next time.